Hello, I'm back with another video looking at how you can get the best for your home setup for all your meetings and events. Today, I'm going to be talking about the single biggest thing you can do to upgrade your camera without upgrading your camera. Let's not think about cameras at all today. Let's think all about lighting. That's better. Lighting is a huge thing and it can upgrade your camera without even having to upgrade anything. So let's have a little look at the lighting setup that I tend to use. To do that, let's rewind back to the start. So here we are back at the first setup. I've got two sources of light right now. I've got a window, which is over to my right hand side, and I've got an overhead light. First thing, the window. If you have a window in your room, try not to let the camera see it. If a camera can see a window and a person, it's probably going to throw you into silhouette. Second thing is, natural light is wonderful, it's beautiful, but it's variable, and that's not great for a camera. A cloud passes in front of the sun, all of a sudden your camera is struggling to cope with the change in lighting. So what I'd advise is, first of all, close the window. Draw the curtains, pull the blinds down, and use artificial light. So let's do that. No window light now, so I'm lit up only by an artificial light, an overhead light, and it's above me and behind me, which means I'm not getting the best lighting. You don't want your main source of light to be above and behind you. It gives you really odd, shadowy face, which I don't like. So let's also get rid of the overhead light. Overhead light gone, starting to look pretty odd now. So this is me being lit up just with my computer monitor. Well done to the Sony 6400 actually for coping with the light just coming from the computer monitor, but there we go. Now this is not going to be ideal unless I'm reading terrifying stories at night. I'm going to want a better lighting setup. So we need artificial light. If you've got one source of light, what I recommend is you put it straight behind your camera or computer. We want this to light you up brightly and consistently. So let me put a lamp behind my computer. So here we are with one light behind my computer. Pretty bright, and so it's lighting up my face. It's giving you an okay look, really. It's better than the computer light. Obviously this source of light is going to be consistent, so it's not going to change throughout the broadcast as well, which is really important. But I don't love just this. If you've got one source of light, put it behind your laptop. If you have two, then put a light behind you. Let's try that. So now I've added in my coloured lights behind me. Very standard YouTube-y feel. These are just some LED lights and you can adjust the colour of them. Choose whatever ones you like. I tend to go with red and blue. One light in front of me and there's two lights behind me. Putting a light behind you separates yourself out from the scene, so it's going to make you stand out a little bit more. This still isn't the standard setup that I use though, because I use three main points of light. I like to have one to my left, one to my right, and one behind. So let's add in light number 3. So here we are, my normal lighting setup. Two lights in front and two lights behind. I've got a bright light to my left-hand side. That's my key light, so the main light that is illuminating my face. And then to my right, I've got a fill light, and that's just taking away some of the shadows that the key light would otherwise cast. To just show you that in action, if I take off my fill light, I'm left with very dramatic-looking shadows. And that's probably not the feel that we want for the normal YouTube video. So we want it nice and bright and consistent, so I'm lit up from both sides. The lights behind, really, really helpful to separate you out from the scene. What colours do you like? They can change colours. I've got an app that changes the LED colours behind me. But do you think this is a better setup? Let's compare it to what it looked like before. I think this is an improvement. This is the lighting setup that I'm happy with. But lighting is a personal choice, so you're going to have to experiment and play around with the different lighting setups until you find something that you are happy with. But for me, my top tips are: 1, don't let your camera see a window. Have the window off to the side, or ideally have the camera facing away from the window. 2, close the blinds and the curtains. We don't really want to see natural light. It's too variable for camera work. 3, turn off any overhead lights. They give you a slightly odd shadow and they're not going to light you up as consistently as you'd like. Then we go into the lighting positions. If you have one lamp, put it straight behind your computer. If you've got two, one behind the computer, one behind yourself. If you've got 3 or more, then one either side and one behind you. And hopefully that's going to give you the perfect lighting setup. I hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed it, click like, click subscribe, and if there are more questions or tips that you would like, let me know in the chat box and I'll be sure to make a video on it. See you soon.